the city. Can you keep it clean for like 5 seconds? I'm ready. Good? Awesome.
Good.
All right.
Alrighty.
Welcome.
Well.
We're finally
Thomas.
here.
Indeed.
Thank you. Happy Election Day, Benny.
Happy Election Day.
It's a big day for Canadians.
It is. This is episode 4 of Benny on Air.
Quattro.
Wait, 4? Yeah, episode 4. I haven't released episode 3 yet, and I don't know when this is going to release, but it will one day.
Well, we're going to get there.
And this is Thomas.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. I don't like wind very much because I'm going to be totally real with you. I have a widow's peak, and when I first discovered this widow's peak, I thought I was balding, and so I panicked.
Is a widow's peak one of these? Like it goes
I don't
up?
even want to show you. I'll show you after. But it's like,
wait, but is it when your hairline goes up in the 2 corners?
yeah,
Okay,
and so because my uncles are balding, I was like, it's over. Like, and so anyway, that's what I was.
Are you balding?
No.
Oh,
I'm
you
never.
just have a widow's peak.
I just have a widow's peak. Yeah.
And that's why you don't like wind?
And that's why I don't like wind, because it shows my widow's peak.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying, well, would you want to be, if you could bend, and I'll
Yeah, if I could bend.
would you want to be an airbender to prevent wind, or would you not want to be an airbender so then you don't accidentally wind your head?
I've never watched Avatar.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I think
Why?
So whenever Joe recommends me a show, I don't watch it. Like,
Why?
pretty consistently. I'll get really butthurt when he doesn't watch a show I recommend to him, but
Yeah.
I'm chronically unable to take recommendations.
Why? Just generally, or from Joe?
I don't
Because you did say when Joe recommends.
Maybe it's Joe, because I know it's going to be good, then I have to like invest like a month or 2 into it.
Okay, yeah, fair
But
enough.
anyway.
Avatar, not to be a Joe, but I highly recommend
Yeah?
Avatar. It's
I think
really,
I'm too old for it. I think I'm.
Dude, it's
For those of you who
sick.
don't know, I'm 20. I'm 20 now.
He's 20.
I'm an old man, and that's weird to me because
Yeah, why?
like I think 3 of the people that I went to high school with are married, and that's like
That's really
that's
weird.
really bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was unique, you know, like you'll be scrolling through and you'll see
Okay,
like
but I feel like also that's also like, are they your age?
yeah.
That's also like not that common for a 20-year-old.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
3
I
of
think,
the
I
20-year-olds.
think it's just
in your
crazy that
class.
it was like 3 of them.
Yeah, because like I'm only a year young. Well, I'm a year and a little bit younger than you, but like
You better get a
I don't
move on.
know.
You know, time's ticking, buddy.
I don't really know that many people. I don't know basically anyone who's like who I went to school with who's married or anything.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
true. That's valid.
I know some people who are around my age.
It just
but,
makes
like,
me
not
feel
really.
old when I see people. I'm like,
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I don't know. I knew this person when they were peeing themselves, and like that was just like a common occurrence. You know, it's like,
Okay.
oh
yeah.
yeah, you know, we all do that in like grade 2. You know, you'll see
Yeah.
someone piss themselves, and you're like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But now they're like, like getting a move on. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's crazy to
Yeah.
me.
So you feel old?
I feel old, actually. Also, if you can tell, we have a beautiful Carleton University behind
Yeah.
my school. It's my
Future school.
your home,
Presumably.
our home. You know, where we participate. Absolutely.
I haven't participated yet, but
Yeah.
soon, hopefully.
No, you'll never know. It's nice. It's better than Saskatchewan's schools, or so
Yeah.
I hear. What I've been told, which I've toured them. They aren't as good as this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
because U of R is just kind of
Just sucks?
The University of Regina. Regina is how you pronounce it. Just so you know, the capital of Saskatchewan is Regina, and that's how you say it. It's not Regina. It's
Do
Latin.
people say Regina?
Nope, no one says that. We all say it Regina. It's
Okay.
what it's called.
No, but do people misinterpret it as like
People-
Regina? Like
People
Regina
misinterpret
Chili?
it because they think I'm trying to be tongue in cheek, which they think I'm trying to be inappropriate, but it's just what it's called.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I toured the main university there, and it is really ugly,
Okay,
and that kind of shut me off from it, and love
Yeah.
that.
fair enough. Do you think, I feel like anybody who attends a university just hates all the other universities.
I think it's true. I think like a weird patriotism forms when you attend
Yeah.
school.
And like, fair enough, because like where you are, you ought to like, you know, you
It
have some
was-
patriotism
it
for
was
your
your
own,
choice.
your own place.
Yeah,
But like, it's kind of,
it's a little
it's
bit
like vitriolic. The way that people talk about it, it's not usually actually vitriolic,
but it
but
can
like,
seem that way.
yeah,
I
exactly.
know exactly what you mean. I don't know.
But you do think Regina?
Well, I'll
the,
tell a
the
story about
University of
Regina. we have like 5 high schools, give or
Yeah.
take, right?
5? How big is?
We don't have a lot. Or maybe it's probably more, but we have like the main ones, right?
Okay,
I
sure.
didn't go to one of the main ones, so
Sure.
but there's like gangs in each of the schools, and
like actual gangs.
like actual gangs, like they'll
Okay.
stab each other, and they hate other schools. so if I'm like remembering right, like the school Johnson and I think the school Sheldon. That's right. So they hate each other
Yeah.
and like they'll just like beat each other up.
Yeah.
And like that was always weird to me because I can never like imagine being patriotic for like my high school. You know, like that's weird to me.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's just
I
so
think
weird.
if you're in a gang, it's kind of a different business.
And there was like a stabbing at a school near me.
Actually?
Yeah, it was like
That's insane.
they got into a fight and then one kid took out a knife and was like, oh, "I'm gonna shank you now."
And he did.
He was really polite about it too.
He did?
Yeah, he actually shanked him. Yeah.
How do you know he was polite about
I
it?
was just messing with you. I don't know. No, it was probably really
Who told
ghetto.
you this story?
It was just like everyone knows. Everyone's like, yeah,
Yeah.
if you go to Campbell, you'll get stabbed. It's
Right,
just like,
right.
But
That's crazy.
I avoided that fate narrowly, of course, as the stabber. That was me.
Stabber?
Yeah, I was.
You were
really,
the stabber?
Yeah, it's like, but anyway, it's election day. It's a
It
big
is election
day
day.
for Canadians everywhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a new pope in a month. We're gonna have a new prime
Presumably, yeah.
minister. Wow.
Today or tomorrow?
We're gonna have a new prime minister today.
When does voting end?
I think voting ends at like 5 p.m. I want to say like the end of the
So
workday.
will we know at 5 p.m. or will we know a couple hours?
We'll know because when they're gonna start counting it. So
Do they start counting it after all the votes?
I think so. Like you'll see because like Saskatchewan will always vote blue generally, except for maybe one or two seats.
Yeah.
And so if a bunch of the ridings in Eastern Canada start to vote blue, then they're just going to call it early because, you know, Carney can't win.
Wait, what do you mean? Like they'll call it early, as in like people will say, "Oh yeah,
like the news,
the blue is probably winning."
Right.
Yeah,
so if, like they haven't called Alberta or Saskatchewan yet, but like for whatever reason,
the Eastern Canada is kind of done. Okay.
Exactly. And so, but
wait a second.
if Carney wins, we're gonna have a Western Republic. Saskatchewan and Alberta are gonna secede. I know it. I'm 100% sure.
What about BC? Secede into the U.S.
We
or
don't want
secede
them.
Generally?
Like their own thing.
Their own thing.
A petro state of sorts.
Okay. What's a petro state?
Like a state that runs off of oil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about like in like the states elections? It's always like you see like how many flipping thingies during election day that each person has, and you see them like
electoral college votes.
Sure. Yeah. I don't actually remember how it all works, but you might know. Yeah. So I assume that means they're counting them during the day.
I think so. It's all from like state to state. I'm not too sure. I'm not well versed. I don't vote in the U.S. because it's too much of a hassle. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be an interesting day. It'll be an interesting month. You know, we're gonna have a lot of Canadians, a lot of people in the world. They're gonna have some new leadership. So
yeah, indeed.
We shall see. Presumably,
new at the very least in the person who's the prime minister.
Exactly.
Potentially new in the.
We watched Django a week ago. What did you think of Django?
I liked Django. It was. They said the N-word a lot.
They did say that word a lot.
A lot of times.
That was a lot. I think that Tarantino does put himself in his movies to say the N-word. I don't think that's a controversial take.
I don't know enough about Tarantino to.
I do know enough that he would absolutely do that.
Okay.
And people are like, "Why do you do that?" And he's like, "I think I have the right."
Okay.
I think it's kind of funny.
His movies, so
he's just like, yeah. I guess
I like. I didn't know who Tarantino was before this. Maybe I recognize the name, but like, you guys were saying like he has a very particular like style of movie directing.
Yeah.
And I definitely noticed a very particular style in this movie.
Yeah.
Like there's like the intro scene. They're like singing a song about Django.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like a kind of nice song, but also kind of. It sounds a little ridiculous how they're like singing about Django. I don't know.
Or they'll talk about like King Schultz and they'll like sing a song about it.
Yeah. Or they'll do like the super zoom shots where they'll be like times 20 zoom onto his face as in like a shocked way or something like that. And
he has like a style. I don't know. It's just like really divergent, one could say, from like the traditional way one's neurosis would work. And so
that's a very
I don't know if neurosis is a word, but like for instance, you'll be watching a Tarantino movie, and then all of a sudden you'll just see chapter 2, whatever, and then you'll hear Tarantino's voice like he's narrating over. Like for instance, The Hateful Eight. It's a pretty good movie. I liked it more when I was younger, and then as I got older and I could like tolerate violence a little bit less for whatever reason.
Wait, You tolerated violence less as you got older?
I could tolerate like movies that were more brutal when I was younger for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
But then as like I tried to engage in media that was more like wholesome, I had like I couldn't stomach that as well. And so I rewatched The Hateful Eight like a year ago. And I remember when I first watched it when I was like a little bit more of like an edgy bastard. And I was like, oh, wow, this is such a good movie.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched it and I'm like, oh, this is kind of brutal.
Yeah.
But like the movie's kind of random. So like it'll start and then all of a sudden it'll just be like chapter 2, whatever. And then Tarantino will like, well, you know, the gang is here all locked up in the cabin. And then he won't do it again. Like he'll do it once.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
why did you...
Why did
the
you have to
decision
do
seems
that?
a little bit inconsistent. But
Yeah.
look at me, I'm talking like I know film.
Or like the other, one of the other parts in Django Unchained was he did like a not a banner transition, but like he was saying the name of like a city or something that they just mentioned, in like a banner moving across the screen.
Yeah.
But like the whole word didn't fit in the whole screen.
It was like
you had to watch it as it went by.
Yeah, it was like at the start of Star Wars almost, where like they kind of give you like a bit of a like a
but with
synopsis.
Star Wars, that's
like,
just the Star Wars.
It's just classic, right?
Yeah.
But then like you have that one time in Django. You don't see it in his other movies, or like
Right, exactly.
So he just kind of likes to do what he likes to do.
Yeah.
Also on that night, we kind of did like the most like basic level of urban exploration
We did
that
do
one
that.
could do, which I thought was really cool.
It was cool.
It was really cool, and also you climbed a billboard,
I did climb a billboard.
which was really cool because
That was
I
cool.
tried.
Oh right, you
I
didn't.
I was too spooked because as I
the ladder was super jank.
it was really jank.
It tapered on the last
it
like
tapered,
4 feet.
and then it would like start to wobble like to the right as you went up.
Yeah.
And I had like a moment because I had watched a reel that morning of a guy who fell on a concrete in college and lost the
That's
ability to
crazy.
talk. And I was like, I have too much to live for to like fall
Yeah.
off a ladder. And
Yeah,
then,
fair enough.
but I'm proud of you. That
Thank
was
you.
that was
yeah.
neat. That was a cool thing to
It
have
was
done.
very terrifying. It was actually, it wasn't too bad. The ladder wasn't too bad. Like I tried going up once and I was like, this is super jank. Came back down. Tried going up again and then I did.
Mhm.
But standing up there, it's so wobbly up there.
There was
It's
a,
like
yeah, like there was a moment
yeah.
where I was climbing up and I'm like, I can make it. You know, like I
Yeah.
could make it up, and
Yeah.
I was about to like reach over to like start getting up, and then I had like this whole vision of me trying to get back down,
Yeah.
and then I was like, it's
Yeah.
not worth it.
Yeah.
Call me a
Fair
coward,
enough, fair
but
enough.
I feel I have too much to live for.
Yeah.
But
I've gone on ladder, like I've gone up on a roof, with a really tall ladder, which
Yeah.
was kind of jank,
yeah,
but we just did it. I had harness on, so it was
yeah. If you have a harness, then like. But no, that
Still.
was a cool night because I like urban. I like urban stuff. I like a little bit of urban decay.
yeah,
It's like when you're on train tracks that are like kind of secluded.
yeah,
And like you see the red light, you see like the graffiti. I'm like, it's just
It's a
really
vibe.
cool. I like this sort
it
of
is
thing.
a vibe.
It's
Yeah.
a vibe, you know, and you kind of just go around. So,
Yeah.
so I think it's a high I'd like to chase at some point, you know, if that's ever a possibility. But also, I don't want to trespass and be stupid.
Yeah,
So,
same. That's the line, or that's the What do you say?
Prison. Prison is the line for you.
No, no. What I'm saying,
I have this weird thing where like I don't want to go to jail.
What's same? But what's the idea? I'm trying to think of, like the threading the needle. That's the needle.
Okay,
you have
that's
to
the
thread.
expression.
That's the expression. I was
Yeah,
thinking
because like I don't know if any of you have watched Marble Hornets. It's a show I'm a big fan of, and it's
of. What
kind
is
of-
Marble Hornets? I actually don't remember.
It's a show about Slender Man.
Okay, yeah.
And
that
so
was the vein that I was thinking of.
why I like it is because a lot of it is set in like urban decay. So a little fun
Wait,
fact.
is it like Backrooms?
It's like Backrooms.
It's like a YouTube thing, like
it's like a YouTube
show.
thing, but they don't really use CGI.
Okay.
So it's like all pretty like they'll use like special effects, but it's not like all CGI like
Yeah.
or made in Blender as
Yeah.
Backrooms is.
Right.
But the reason why I like Marble Hornets is because, and a fun fact, in Alabama, when they're done with a building, they don't demolish it generally unless they need to use that space.
Yeah.
So for instance, like if there was like an apartment building right there and they were done with it, but no one wanted to use that space, they just leave it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how they work. And so a lot of Marble Hornets, at least back when it was filmed, is set in like decaying schools and hospitals. And that was really cool. And
So like
kinda
they
go
actually
through that.
film stuff in
I think
those
they'd actually
places?
film stuff in
Okay.
those places. And so when I saw that when I was younger, I was like, I gotta see that, you
Yeah.
know? And
That's
so
neat.
anyway, that's why that night was cool. We got to see some
some
neato stuff,
neato stuff.
neato stuff. Train tracks. Those are spooky
Yeah,
because you never
I
know.
took a lot of pictures. Good pictures.
Good pictures. Good pictures. Nice red light aesthetic. Not like like the red light from the train.
Yeah, the train was coming at us, and we had to jump out of the way.
We jumped out of the way. We're pretty cool that way. We lost a couple guys, but that's why they're not here right now.
That's the price you got to pay for awesome adventures,
Exactly. I was just like dead people in the middle of Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
But what can you do? People die all the time in Ottawa.
Is that true? How often? What's the percentage of people that die any given day? Like, if there's 1 million people, what percentage of those people will die?
Probably maybe like 10.
You think 10 people a day die?
Not like homicide though, like just
no, I know, but that would mean 3,000. That would mean almost 4,000 people die.
I didn't think about it that way. That's probably not
in
right.
a year.
I don't think that's right then.
I think 4,000 people die in Ottawa every year.
Scratch that.
That's a
That's
a lot of people.
It's Saskatchewan that happens.
Does Saskatchewan have more people than Ottawa?
No.
Oh, really? All of Saskatchewan?
This homicide. I'm just doing a bit.
Okay.
I don't know. Probably. I was a housekeeper for 3 months. Not actually. It was like a month and a half.
What?
Remember? It was like in 2022.
Oh, you mean in Saskatchewan? In that?
Yes,
Oh,
I was in a place. So I'm going to talk more about Saskatchewan. Prince Albert, shout out, sucks. It's the worst place in the world.
Prince Albert? Where's
it's
that?
the third biggest city in Saskatchewan, and it's the worst.
Okay.
It sucks. There's a lot of crime. There's a lot of homelessness, and there's a lot of drugs. It's actually very sad.
That's not good.
When I was driving through it, it would be like 6 p.m. and I look out over to my right, and you see a parking lot, and it was just maybe 40 people, and they were all homeless and drugged out. It looked like The Walking Dead. It looked like if you were to walk through that, you would have gotten panhandled, or it was just a brutal. Wow. It's a brutal place, and so we were an hour north of there at a resort, and that was interesting. Cleaning the cabins and stuff because there's cabins on the site. It was a cool experience, but it was also.
I didn't know it's that bad. That's crazy.
It's freaking horrifying. The grounds that we lived at were pretty safe.
Yeah.
I think the other coworkers would maybe sometimes steal stuff.
Okay.
But it wasn't anything huge. There were some of my coworkers got plastered and then went paddleboarding and then lost. Actually, this isn't stealing. They just lost the paddles.
Okay.
And then no one could paddleboard again because I was the employee paddleboard.
Yeah.
And so we lost that privilege. What can you do, right?
Yeah.
What can you do? That's just life. Every now and again you gotta paddleboard.
Yeah. I have a question. So I've been thinking about politics.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Given
today's election day. Happy election day, Benny.
I've been thinking about politics, and I've been thinking about what informs political decisions.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of what informs political decisions of what politicians do, but what informs political decisions
of the voter.
The voter, yeah, and generally, people, but also what ought to inform one's political decisions. You know what I mean? And applying I'm trying to think what informs my political decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
a
lot of things, and I guess the instigation for this thought is that, politics is a very dividing subject.
Yeah. Almost to the point I don't like talking about it to people that I don't know that well.
Exactly. Yeah. Me neither. Yeah, because
I don't like to step on toes. Actually, I don't like to debate with people that I don't really know too well.
It's dividing in a way it's dividing, very, very largely dividing in a way that it ought not to be dividing.
Oh, you think
in the sense that I think to a very large degree, because to some degree it's there are certain values that if you're on one side of on versus the other side, you think both sides think the other side is
crazy and shouldn't be given a platform.
Exactly, yeah. Or even just that their position is crazy. But I think under all of that there should be a an element of you can still have relationships with people who vote differently, you know what I mean?
I think you're right. I think
so. Tell me your thoughts.
So my thoughts, and not to, it's totally leaving my mind, but for the first question, what I think that mostly what informs is it's not as calculated. I'm a very, very biased individual. I think everyone is. So that's where a lot of my just the way I was raised. Maybe religious factors. All these sorts of things. and that's kind of what motivates me. Like, I think it's a lot more tribalistic than people are willing to. I don't know if I'm actually. I think it's totally wrong. I think everyone knows it's super tribalistic, but it's like I'll vote one way because I'm really confident. I just like this is my team. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like even though there's like a lot of factors that I'm really disappointed about and I think that they should change, it's like what am I gonna do? They're my team. You know?
Okay.
And it's kind of I think it's how it is because I've known people where like you'll think that they would vote one way completely, but then you realize that they were raised in a certain environment, and even though every factor should point that they would vote a different way, they vote this way. You know? And
that's
like,
weird. I feel like
it almost like
I'm unfamiliar with that.
It's like illogical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, even though like everyone that kind of surrounds them votes one way, even though like a lot of the things that inform them, and like you know you would think that they would vote one way, but they totally vote the other way.
Right.
And it's like, oh, why would you? Why? And then they're like, well, you know, I worked for that party for a long time, and that's just how I was raised, and you know, they did a lot of good at like this decade.
Right.
So it's
yeah.
So I don't think there's a whole lot of, you know, I feel like you'd be remiss to find people who, if they vote one party when they're 20, they likely won't vote differently when they're 60.
Right.
As someone who will probably be that way. You know? But
that's interesting. Because I had not even thought about that very much at all. Like just the teamness of it. That's interesting.
It's like your team, you know.
Yeah.
Like you look at the United States, right?
Yeah.
And I think that like some states just vote the way that they vote because it's just this is what they vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like totally random. But could you ever imagine Alabama voting, like becoming a blue state? Like likely not.
Okay.
You know, even though they have like big cities with like big urban developments,
you
know, which would likely sway them to be more Democrat, but they just vote Republican. And I think there's probably a lot of reasons, and I think I'm grossly over, but I think it's just because a lot of people are like, oh, we vote Republican. Right, same thing with like Rhode Island, right?
Okay.
You'll never.
What is Rhode Island?
Super Democrat. Like they're Democrat, like through and through, you know, and that's how they vote. You know, I would even wager to guess that a Democrat could be elected that would 100% perfectly encapsulate maybe what an Alabamian would want, and then, you know, they'd be like, well, we vote Republican. And then vice versa with Rhode Island. Maybe a Republican would be like, we're going to fix your state, and it's going to be the best one. They'd be like, oh, we vote Democrat. So
dang,
I don't know, but maybe
that's like
totally
that's
wrong.
Like preceding any consideration of a platform.
I think that like the platform is
that because like I guess in the process of going to the of considering the options and then going to the ballot box.
And keep in mind, I know nothing. Like I don't really know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
but anyway, this is just like this is my hunch.
Yeah, that's like the first part. I haven't even considered that. Yeah, that's interesting.
But like I think that if a Republican were to make his whole platform Rhode Island and we're gonna make it great. not great anyway. But like they're just gonna fully prioritize everything there in all the ways that a Rhode Islander would want. They'd probably vote for that individual, but I'm just saying that I would wager my bets against it, you know, just because I think there's like traditions within like groups of people about how they vote.
Is Rhode Island an island?
Rhode Island actually is not an island, funnily enough.
Why is that the case?
I think they have an island that they might have called Rhode Island at one point, but then they just
encapsulated the name into the
exactly. I think it started off. I don't know. I think Rhode Island's pretty. I'd like to visit Providence one day.
Okay.
We'll see. You never know. There's a lot that could happen.
Yes. So with political like choices then.
Yeah.
Say to get into more particulars, like say I'll take me as an example.
Okay.
A big aspect of like political views is like social views, right? Yeah. And a big aspect of social views relates to religious views. And me, as a very religious person, as a Catholic, that obviously connects to a lot of social views, which are in some ways a lot more important than the other
like the economic.
Like, so it's like social and economic, and it's like
if there was a communist party, like a well, I think it's kind of oxymoronic, but if there's a communist party that had all the economics of a communist, but then was totally socially your side, right?
I don't know how that would work.
I don't know how that would work either, but I'm just trying to make the point about like separate. Okay, maybe one that's just like super economically left wing, right? But then
Yeah.
really like socially, like religious, and that would
Yeah.
be. I would also vote for that. It's like I would care a little bit
Right,
less.
right. Yeah. Yeah. So like the social aspect puts me fully into
One
the
camp.
conservative side,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
And even like with Canada, it's like there's the Conservative Party versus the Liberal or the NDP or Green or Bloc or whatever. I don't really know much about Green or Bloc, so I don't really know.
love
But I
them.
just know you love them.
I think they're funny.
I know they're left. But like even the Conservatives aren't that socially conservative per se,
No.
like as a party.
I think they're just more. The reason why people like, you and I are more religious,
Yeah.
why they're more appealing, isn't because they're not socially right,
But they're not socially left.
but the thing is that like they don't persecute people like within their party. Like they have a lot of like religious people
Yeah.
who are MPs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for instance, like I've done like data collecting things, and like you'll see a lot of MPs from Saskatchewan, from Alberta, from like the rural parts of different provinces. They're all like volunteers at their church, or like they all like when you look at their LinkedIn a lot of the time.
Right.
A lot of the MLAs in those provinces are too. And so the reason why, people such as yourself would vote conservative is because they make a space for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. I think another thing about it is like, my point was like conservatives, the Conservative Party isn't that socially conservative.
Yeah.
Like they don't have, to my knowledge, any platform on say abortion, right? And
Yeah.
that might be different even in the states. Although I don't actually know how pro-life the Republicans. I don't know how pro-life Trump is, but
I think he's decent. I don't know actually. I think he's a bit of a grifter, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like the liberals are still more left than that, because like not having very much of a social platform is a lot better, in my opinion, than having a very liberal social platform.
My favorite analogy. I mean, I like it because I made it. So I don't know if it's gonna,
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna be any good.
Yeah.
But it's like, would you rather a firefighter that doesn't do anything? Like there's like a fire. Like if we were to see a fire right now, would you rather firefighters just watch it or like throw coal?
Right.
Into,
Exactly.
And it's like,
Coal
well,
and oil and...
both suck, and obviously the ideal is water, but
right.
It's better to have someone that's not gonna do any. It's better to have someone that's not going to make it worse than to have someone that's going to like
definitely
exasperate the problem.
Yeah.
Exasperate.
Anyway. Exasperate. I don't know.
I'm not an English major. I'm also not a political science major, so that makes me more qualified to talk. Actually, don't listen to a single poli-sci major. They don't know what they're talking about.
Okay.
As someone who's taken about 2 hours of a poli-sci class before I dropped out.
Okay. Wait, were you taking political science before? Or?
I took a class for.
Okay.
I went to one of them and I was like, oh, this sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, but do you think the social issues also inform the fiscal issues? Because like, I don't know if both parties are saying this, but it feels like in my mind both parties are just saying like the other party will make Canada worse, but we'll make you richer. I feel like that's definitely what the Conservatives are saying. I don't know if the Liberals are saying the Conservatives.
They're kind of saying
poor,
that. The Conservatives are
the Conservatives are definitely saying the Liberals are going to make you poor, and we're going to make you have more money. Because we're going to try to fix the economy. And
I think because the Liberals place a lot more emphasis on like social programs and like government welfare,
right?
And that makes taxes high.
Okay.
But then you like I want to be fair.
Yeah.
But we have free healthcare because we pay really high taxes,
right?
And Americans in some states would pay less taxes than we do because they don't have to worry about the healthcare aspect. But I must say, like
they don't pay for healthcare.
They don't pay for healthcare through the taxes.
Right.
They pay like upfront,
right?
Right. And so, but it's really nice because when I got pretty sick a while back, I just got to go to the hospital, and even though I had to wait in the waiting room 12 hours, which sucked. I still didn't have to pay, and that that does something for you mentally, where it's like, maybe I'll die in the waiting room, but at least like, at least my debt won't be crazy.
Right. Yeah. At least you don't have to like
Yeah,
get an
'cause
ambulance for like something.
I got like a free
and
heart
then get-
surgery, you know,
Dang. Okay.
and like
yeah.
if you know the right people, you just kind of get pushed along, which is kind of how it goes.
Right.
But in the States, I probably would have had to,
Paid
not me, it would have been my
$30,000.
parents, but it would have been a lot of money
Right.
for that,
That's
and for like a
crazy.
minor issue too, because like it was just like an extra, like something that wasn't actually a huge quality of life thing,
Yeah.
but it would have made it so I probably would have had like I probably would have been more prone to a heart attack, and like
Right.
when you don't have the money to pay for that up front, you're like, well,
I guess I'm just
am I
not
going to pay $100,000 for like a maybe, or the privilege
Right.
is that? But then I don't know. There's so many like facets, and
There is so many facets. I think maybe with the health issue of like public versus public. Is it like a public health
so
care
ours
system? Is
is
that what it is?
public.
Ours is
Theirs
public
is
because
private. Yeah.
right. I think one versus the other. They definitely both have their advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like maybe the point to extrapolate from that, or at least in my mind, the point to extrapolate from that is that if people are yelling at each other, saying the other
One's better than the other.
the
the classic middle ground approach, where like you should have the option if you want it. Because that's what I think a little
Actually,
bit. Because like let me pitch you this. Right?
Yeah.
Let's say you have something like in your arm and you don't know what it is, but like it's like I don't know. Let's say you have cancer in your arm, right?
Yeah.
In Canada, you'd have to wait a very long time for like the subsequent procedures, and it could just get worse.
Yeah.
Or would you rather just like $50,000 done, fixed, you know? And when you push a lot of people up about that, and they're like, well, I probably, take the loan and pay for the $50,000 because, it's better to live and be in debt than vice versa because you don't know what could happen. Because like we've known people who stub their toe in like a water park, and then they wait so long for treatment because their foot gets infected that they amputate it.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
Actually, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's true. We
because they had to wait.
Because they had to wait because of our crazy wait times.
That's okay.
But they didn't have to pay throughout that process, and so I think that
they paid their foot, or toe, or whatever. Yeah. That's crazy. Okay,
it's wild. They like, they would like. Obviously, they probably would have been better off going to the States and just paying.
Right.
Like, all right. Well, here's $10,000. I'd pay $10,000 for my foot personally.
Yeah.
But
because I was gonna say like if someone's saying like say the Canadian public healthcare system just sucks and it's the worst thing ever because of all the wait times.
Yeah.
Well, like it does have its benefits, but then after you saying that, it's like dang, that is kind of a big thing.
That's a big thing in like the wait times. Well, the best thing is it's not as bad as the UK, which is hell on earth.
Why?
Because it's all these problems. It's like everything that the Canadian healthcare thing has, but worse because it's a terrible country because they don't know how to run it.
Why? I know like zero about the UK politics.
It just sucks. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just getting worse. Like the country's down.
What are they doing? What are they up to?
It's a lot of things.
Okay.
Bad culture. It's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. People like it. I don't. I think that like they're going down. Like they're becoming much more authoritarian. You know? Like
who's in government right now?
The Labour Party, but that always didn't make a difference. Like it was just gonna suck either way.
Okay.
But they passed a bill recently, and this is becoming very uneducated because I don't know the name of the bill and I don't know the specific parameters. Okay. So this is all like gossip, word of mouth. But if you were to do digging, I'm sure you'd find something. But like they've been arresting a lot of people for things that they said online, which I think is wild.
What kind of things? Just like opinions?
Yeah, like they can say like, oh, maybe
I'm gonna kill this guy.
Like
now we're gonna.
I think that even if you were to say that, that'd be, I don't know, if you posted detailed plans of like at 6 a.m. I'm gonna go to this guy's house, I'm gonna open up his door, then be like, okay, well maybe we should not have that. But they would say things like, oh, I think that I think that some of the things the government is doing isn't great. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, well we're gonna arrest you.
That's insane.
I know, it's wild actually. I don't know. They're very like bureaucratic and they've become very socialist in a lot of ways. And so anyway, that leads me to my next point. Why I think we should get rid of them.
Rid of who?
I think we should just sink the island.
Okay, that's an idea.
I think we should sink
what means? How do we do it?
I don't know. I have a few ideas.
Okay.
We take like a comically large saw and just like kind of
saw underneath it.
Yeah, just like push them out to sea. You know, something like that.
Yeah, that can work. That can work.
Turn into a parking lot maybe for a different country.
For Ireland.
Yeah, the Irish parking
It's
lot.
kind of it's kind of crazy. I was gonna make the point about the healthcare. It's kind of crazy how very particular each thing is. Like you could be in a healthcare system which is very not optimal, but then you could be completely fine just because of your situation.
Yeah.
And in the same way, like you're talking about how bad of a situation the UK is in, which I know nothing about other than what you're telling me. But like there's like with any given person in the world, they could be in a completely fine situation. Like
And like
we're
an
in a pretty
unideal.
fine situation.
Yeah, it's true. Like even though like
Relatively speaking.
yeah, exactly. Like when,
But then and probably a lot of people in the UK are also fine.
yeah.
Like if unless like the entire economy in the UK is
Well,
just
they're set to
completely
be
getting destroyed.
again.
I don't
can't.
know.
I'm not citing any sources because this is all word of mouth. But I heard that they're projected to have like a worse economic output than Poland.
Is
in, like,
Poland bad? Economics?
Poland's pretty good
Okay.
actually, but like they're getting better is a thing with Poland because like
okay.
they're doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then UK is not.
Right. But the thing with the UK is like there could be people who are doing fine in the UK, living their life, but then there also could just be people who were doing fine until they flipping got arrested for something they tweeted or something.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying.
I see what you're trying to say is like the point that like you could be living a total normal life in an unideal situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but then or you could be living in a ideal situation and then stuff just happens and your life just collapses.
Yeah, I don't think it's like a perfect country. You know what I mean? Like
except America.
yeah, home sweet home. I remember when I was younger, I had like this kind of crazy mentality that like I want to move somewhere.
Yeah.
And then like life is gonna get better.
There.
Like this is gonna sound crazy, but I wanted to move to Ukraine when I was like 16. So before the war.
You were 16.
I was like
in 2021.
I was 16. No, sorry,
wasn't the
I was
war
younger.
in 2020?
No. The war was not in 2020.
When was the war?
The war was in 2021. It was in 2021. Okay. Either way, I was
before that.
Whatever.
Oh, dude, I remember this. I remember you saying that you wanted to move to Ukraine.
Before whenever the war was, and my mentality was that. So like I even started learning Russian because that's what they speak. I wanted to move to Odessa.
Do they not speak Ukraine in Ukraine?
They do, but they spoke more Russian in Odessa.
Can you understand Ukraine if you speak Russian or no?
I can read a little bit.
Okay.
But again, I can't.
But it's like different enough that you wouldn't.
And they're like very different.
Oh,
okay. Like if you're Ukrainian, I think you would know more Polish than Russian.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think it's like the idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would wake up every morning at like 6 a.m. and I would practice Russian for an hour. It was wild because I don't have that sort of like mentality now.
Yeah.
Like I would like go full because I was like really committed. I was like, I'm gonna move there. I don't know what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm gonna learn Russian. I'm gonna go. Like quality of life is cheaper. It has like beautiful scenery.
Did you tell were you talking to like me and Joe or something like, guys, we should all move to Ukraine or something?
I was because
I feel like I remember you talking about this.
I was on it. Like I was like, I want to move to Odessa. It's gonna be better.
What's the name of the place?
Odessa.
Odessa.
And then I was like, gonna do that, and then the war broke out. So anyway, to run about back to your
But if
point,
the war stopped, would you move to Ukraine?
No, never. Like, see that was kind of
your point.
Yeah.
Is that
it was just like I was like that would be the ideal situation.
Yeah.
And then like things would just kind of happen. You know, I totally maybe if I was right now and I had that sort of dedication and I did whatever and moved there, maybe my life would have been great. But then stuff happens. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect government.
Right.
Yeah, that was wild. I don't know. I've had some weird like. There's even a point where I was like, I'm going to move to the Philippines. Don't know where that came from. That was short-lived, mind you.
Where's the Philippines?
It's like south of Japan.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why. It was also because I heard it was like, cheap quality of life, whatever, and it was. But also that was like that lasted for a week. The thing with Odessa lasted for a few months. Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like greener pastures sort of mentality, and that was.
Greener pastures, like it's grass is always greener on the other side.
Well, actually, I don't know what I was thinking about. Like when it came to Odessa, like I can kind of see where my logic was coming from, you know. But like with the Philippines, that just would have been, you know what I mean? Like I feel like people agree that it's like there's like a lot of poverty there. It's probably like a bit of a bad idea.
Okay, but what about like moving to some place where you can like buy housing is like super duper cheap and just
food and
food is super cheap. Like I've heard, I don't know,
I
was reading something on Reddit, so take that as you will.
The source of all knowledge.
Some guy was talking about how in like India or something he can like buy like like 10 Big Macs for like $8 or something ridiculous like that. You know what I mean?
My
or for like
humble,
$4.
My humble take is that,
And
like,
then so some guy was like, "Oh, I'll send you $50 in US dollars if you go buy like 100 Big Macs and give them away or something." And then he did that.
And then
It's
he
like,
did.
it's like, why? How is it so cheap there? And what if we just move there or something like that? You know?
See, like, I can't speak to like the economic reasons why it's cheaper. I'm sure they're like much more smart people.
Like I didn't even know it was possible to create food with that much money. You know what I mean? I guess if you're just working, you're paying your workers less. Then
I think it's a
less,
mix of that, and also too, like we have like a lot of artificial things that kind of make life more expensive here. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Like we have high taxes. You know, we have like some roundabout things with food.
Yeah.
That makes like food more expensive.
Okay.
I think it's like, you know, like for instance, everyone in Saskatchewan has to like they have a like the government gives them a better deal to ship their wheat to Toronto, where then the processing is made there.
Yeah.
And then the wheat will get like turned to bread, and then the bread will be sent out. So in Saskatchewan, theoretically, you could have really cheap bread because that's like where we make it.
Right.
But then because of like the government incentive for anyway, so what I'm trying to say with that is like there's
so like to get bread, the wheat needs to go to Toronto and then made into bread and then come back to Saskatchewan.
So there's like a whole roundabout process,
right.
And it kind of makes things more expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe they do that there, but I don't know. There's also probably because these places have a bit of slavery, so
okay,
that also probably makes it a bit cheaper. So, but I think like every place has a give and take almost, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
Like we don't really worry. Like when we were walking from the car to here, like we weren't really worried about getting stabbed.
Right.
You know, it's not like a dangerous place.
Yeah.
And in like the Carleton University's quite safe.
Yeah.
But I was talking to a guy who's like, I think he was touring some place in South Africa. He's like, I felt like I was gonna get stabbed. Anyway, but I'm sure you get really cheap McDonald's.
There's
in South
definitely
Africa.
give and take, but there's also way better and way worse give and takes. Like I'd rather pay more for a Big Mac, which I never pay for anyways, but I just steal Big Macs. No, I don't need
this guy's
Big
a
Macs.
thief, yeah.
But like I'd rather have expensive Big Macs and not think about getting stabbed than worry about getting stabbed. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But have free food.
I feel like
or mostly free food or something. You know.
Ask your local poli-sci major. I'm sure they have a good statement about it because I don't really know what I'm talking about. But neither does a poli-sci major. I always have to make that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really alluring because like I would listen to this podcast about like this guy's podcast, and he lived in Odessa, and he was like, life is better here objectively than in the States. I was like, oh well, that's obviously why. And he was like,
must be right.
Yeah, he was like, I eat out every day because I don't know how to cook, but it's like the food here is so cheap that I'm like, I'm paying like $5, like
a day or a meal,
like pretty much a day.
That's
generated
insane.
for the food. I think that was like kind of the idea, but.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much better. And if I speak Russian, then why wouldn't I?
Right.
But then he was like, oh, a comedian got elected as the president, so he moved out. And then anyway, what I'm trying to say with that is cheap food sounds nice, but then usually there's a reason for why the food is
right.
cheap.
Yeah.
I guess my philosophical
So then the
take.
solution is just to be rich so you can afford the expensive food.
Here's a question. Do you think there's such thing as an ethical billionaire?
I have no idea.
Like, do you think that anyone can make $1 billion?
Theory, yes. I think in theory, yes.
Yeah.
I think in practice, I have no idea because I'd have to look at all the billionaires.
I remember like back in the day
I really
when people worshipped Elon Musk, like he's like an ethical billionaire. But then he's like, well, he has like a lot of problems. But then he would also like have kids in the Congo mining cobalt, and it's like,
what do you mean? Like he would,
that's how he would profit a lot.
Okay.
Like
like
super
he runs these companies.
He didn't run them, but he would purchase from them. You know what I mean?
But doesn't everyone?
Like everyone does. Actually, yeah, you're right.
Isn't that where like they get like the stuff to make phone chips or something rather? So
my bad.
I don't really know.
Anyway,
people always talk about
more what I was.
Congo.
Okay, maybe that's a bad argument because like everyone. More, can you be a good person while also having $1 billion? Also theoretically, yes, of course, because that's.
I think that.
But like, if you have that much excess wealth,
it's harder for a camel to thread than Ivan.
Yeah, that's
good.
That's a good biblical quote. I like that.
Yeah,
I was listening to a Protestant pastor on my way here.
Yeah,
because my phone wouldn't connect to the Bluetooth, and it was on like a ministries, and I must say, like, they're pretty good at like talking authoritatively.
Yeah,
you know, like he's talking about like you put the iron in the furnace and it refines it. What Christ does is he touches the part of you that needs refining. He brings it to the surface, and that's what you refine, you know. And then I was like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then I turned it off because I'm like, I don't know enough. Like maybe he might just say something heretical, and like I don't have like I don't have the distinction to know. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just listen to something else. But
yeah,
I think I like the way that they talk.
Yeah,
they're pretty, especially if they're from the South. They talk pretty
they've
convincingly.
they've got some preaching tactics.
Exactly. But anyway, with you saying with the Bible quote, yeah, I think like if you have $1 billion, like nothing's really stopping you from doing anything.
Exactly.
Like,
so it's a lot harder to be a good person.
Like, why do you
think
like,
it's impossible?
Billionaires went to Epstein's Island because they could. You know what I mean?
That's crazy to think.
Like,
about. Yeah, like you're saying, like it's not even that they like it's not. Wait, what do you mean? Like
more what I'm trying to say, right? Is like when you have that much money, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the one thing you can't do, like no matter what, it's like you can't be illegal. You can't do anything illegal with children, right? Like that's kind of where people draw the line. Because if you're a billionaire,
it's kind of like the last line type thing. Yeah.
But if you're a billionaire, you can do anything. You know what I mean? Like you can do all the drugs you want. You could you can date supermodels, right?
Yeah.
All these things, but like doing illegal things with children is like the one thing that you can't like do that's sanctioned. You know, does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah. It's like past that is just like you're in Satanism. Anarchy and war. Exactly. If you're past that, yeah, I see what you mean.
And so anyway,
but is your point that
the point is that like they could, and that's why they did it. I don't know if what I'm trying to say makes sense.
Sort of. Like, is your point that like
it's the one thing that they couldn't do, and because they have like so much excess, because like life is just so meaningless with that much money, that's why they did that, you know?
Right. You're saying it's like they didn't even do it for any particular reason except that they could.
Yeah, you know?
So yeah.
I don't think I don't think allegedly Bill Gates was there. I don't think Bill Gates went there specifically because he was a pedophile. Maybe he was. But I think that he just had so much power and money that it was just like he allegedly wanted to do it, you know?
Right.
I don't know, I'm speaking that kind of rambly. But
yeah. I think it definitely is to mix metaphors here, or sort of mix metaphors. You do have to thread the needle with wealth, because like if you read say like I was reading Sirach, which is one of the wisdom books of the Bible. Like Sirach, it talks a lot about like money and stuff, and the wisdom literature also talks about money, just like how there's kind of two ideas. One idea is kind of the Old Testament idea that like if you obey God, then you have a lot of money. Prosper. Yeah. And that was kind of the idea before people had a more developed idea of the afterlife. Yeah. There was the idea that if you obey the commandments, you will prosper in this life. And because like as it developed, it was more like, well, also there's the next life.
Because like Job was rich and stuff, right?
Yeah. And then as a test, all that was taken away. But then after he got it all back. He got it back because he was like because he persevered. Yeah. So there's that idea, and then there's the idea from Christ, which is that it is more difficult for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, and then I think a good kind of marking of the center of that is the idea that what is the quote? The root of evil is love of money or something. Yeah. But that's not the same thing as saying the root of evil is money. Yeah. It's like love of money is not the same as money. Yeah. So you could love money and be poor, but you're just trying to get as much money as you can, and that is what destroys you. Yeah, exactly. It destroys your life.
You can be poor and still get like totally corrupted by money. Yeah. You know? And so
if you're just not good at making money. But then if you love money and you're good at making money, you might become rich. Yeah. And that is what destroys you. But also you could love money as much as you ought to, insofar as it's a tool to live a good life. Yeah. But then of course the devil's in the details with all of that. Yeah. That's true. Because like sometimes you might notice that you're thinking about money too much, and you need to start focusing on other things in your life. I don't know. So
yeah, money's one of those things. It's weird.
It is one of those things.
It's one of those things. Yeah.
There's like one of those things, and that's money.
Yeah, it's one of them. I have way too much of a c'est la vie attitude.
What's c'est la vie again?
Like, whatever.
What does that mean? Is it French?
I think it means it is life.
It is life.
I
Yeah.
don't speak French. I hate it, but it's
C'est la vie. Yeah, it is life.
yeah. And so I don't know. I think that money just kind of comes and flows. I try not to obsess
Yeah.
about it because I think that just makes you unhappy overall.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely the case, that if you obsess over money too much, you just become unhappy.
Don't get me wrong. Like when I see people who have a lot of money, I'm like, wow, that'd be awesome to have.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. It's best not to dwell.
Yeah, I think there's definitely, there's like two things with that. In my mind, one thing is like, so there's the idea that thinking about money too much just like makes you unhappy and anxious. But then the problem is like, what if you kind of need to be anxious about money because or if you stop thinking and caring about money, you'll be anxious about the fact that what if you don't actually have.
I think there's healthy anxiety, right? Like
yeah,
you have to be
healthy
prudent.
in a certain sense.
Yeah, you have to be prudent as like if you're like a father, you can't just be like, oh these kids, these kids want to ski, we gotta pay $2,000 and
right.
That analogy didn't make sense. You can't just like
you can't
do whatever, but you still have to like, I don't know. Yeah. Also, I think that like I find that like a lot of the time the people I've met, like the more generous they are,
Yeah.
I found that to be the case a lot of the time. Like they're very like open and willing to have you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've known rich people.
I think
who are like,
if you don't really have that much money, you naturally tend to find more value in non-monetary things.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like oh, we don't like. You might have all the wishes and desires to have money,
rather pay
but
like
because they're not being
$100,
fulfilled and you're not abiding in your money, you kind of have to look around elsewhere for comfort and joy and life.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, I feel like if you're poor, like the value of $100 means a lot more to you.
Yeah.
Than if you're Elon Musk.
Right.
But
also like if you are rich, it's easier to obsess over money because it's paying off. You know what I mean?
Elon Musk's like, obsessed over money, or do you think he just kind of like does stuff?
I don't really know.
I don't know
about
that well.
Elon Musk.
I know he has 13 kids, which is a lot of kids, or maybe 15.
Actually?
Yeah.
I thought he only had like 7.
No, he has a lot of kids.
Are they
double digits?
Recent? How?
I think like the most recent one was like maybe a few months ago.
Okay, so he's been having. Dang, that's crazy. How many is he? How many like? Women? Is there? Yeah.
Maybe like.
I know he was
3 plus.
Only 3.
No, like over 3 for sure.
Over 3, okay. Because
like
I knew, like a couple years ago, he had a bunch of kids, and I think it was
he had
like
X Zash.
Yeah, I remember that kid. But
was there an Elon Musk Jr.? Was that
I have no idea. I didn't know he had that many kids. That's not good.
Yeah, especially because it's not like I don't know. I feel bad for those kids.
Like currently, is he married or no? Or
I think he has
married?
A partner. I'm not too sure. I don't know.
That's usually how it goes if you have 15 kids.
It's usually how it goes. It's unlikely that it's all one person. It's possible, but unlikely. I don't know. That sort of thing's wild.
Yeah.
My biggest question is that like if you have that many, how do you like? Do you remember all of them? You know what I mean? Like
that's a fair point because people did have that like
back in the day.
My uncle has like 14 siblings.
That's a lot of siblings.
It is a lot of siblings. I
think that's different because it's like they come sequentially.
That's true.
It's like you'll have like by the time
you don't also need to remember which person you had that kid with.
Exactly. It's like because
it's a more integrated system when you're married.
Because if you have 14 kids, right, and then like by the time that you've had your 14th, the oldest
could be having a kid.
Is probably a father at that point. Yeah. And then like your responsibility no longer is them. Well, like being a parent is like a job that you have for forever.
Yeah.
But like
the window of the children that you're taking care of, you usually don't run out before you start having more kids.
Yeah.
Or before you stop having more kids. But if you have 15 kids,
but if you have 15
the window probably won't be all 15 at once.
Right. And also,
presumably.
Especially like if they're with different women that you're on bad terms with. And also too, like you have them sort of at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Like, and maybe I'm totally wrong, and I don't want to like, assume the worst of Elon Musk, even though I don't know him.
Yeah.
I want to be charitable. but it's like I would bet against the idea that he remembers all the kids that he has, you know?
There's in a certain sense, I see what you mean. I think like literally remembering all the kids.
Like, I'm sure, like
I'm sure I would. He probably knows, like he remembers their names, but in the sense of actually being connected to them in any way and present, definitely there would be a disconnect. Like just practically speaking, he couldn't to manage having 15 kids split between multiple women because he's had like relationships that have I mean, I assume that's just how it goes. If you have 15 kids with multiple women, you just have relationships, and then they don't work out, but you had kids with them.
Like more than one.
It's just gonna disintegrate. Like you're not gonna be able to keep track of all that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of kids.
It is a lot of kids. Do you know what, the crazy thing that I was thinking about was like, say you have like a ton of kids. Like say you have 12 kids or 15 kids. Like in a normal, like you're married and you have that many kids.
Yeah.
And you're not divorced or anything. So that's a lot of kids, and like you'll be able to remember their names and whatnot. But like even I'm sure your parents have called different siblings the wrong name.
Absolutely,
you know, that's just how it goes. If you have even if parents have only like 3 or 4 kids, I'm sure that happens.
But they don't look at you and like their eyes glaze over because they don't know who they're looking at. You know?
Exactly.
But like with Elon Musk, right? Is he gonna have a kid that he's just not even really gonna see growing up, and then he's just gonna like
that sometimes happens, like not with people with 15 kids, just if people get divorces,
like estranged.
Like if people get divorced, sometimes they might just get divorced and that's it. But a lot of times people will get divorced and then get married again, but then they'll get divorced again because so like there are people. Like the amount of people who the amount of people who get divorced is, I don't know, I have no idea what the percentages are, but say 10% of people who get married get divorced, and then take that 10% of people. Of the people that got remarried, a lot more than 10% of them will get divorced again.
Right. Probably. It's like you're saying it's unlikely that they.
It is more common for people who have already been divorced to divorce again, is what I'm saying. Because they already have whatever divorce problems there are.
Like they probably
and that's not to say every person who gets divorced will divorce again if they get remarried. But it is to say it's very common.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like there are people who get married, have kids, to get divorced, and then they might not live on the other side of the country to their ex-wife, you know, and they might get married again and have kids with a different woman.
Yeah.
And then the kids with their wife, they don't really know very well, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or their wife might not want them to know their kids.
Yeah.
Like they might, their wife might estrange them because of that, you know?
Interesting.
Or,
that's wild to me. I don't know. I think it's wild, like the idea, because I'm pretty close with all my siblings, of course, you know, even though I don't live with them anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like the idea that like I just wouldn't even know I had a sibling, or like I have a sibling that I just barely.
That is definitely
it's like a weird thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. Families be crazy.
Yeah.
Just one of the
But the thing about it is this: say you have 12 kids, that's a lot to manage, but you can kind of manage it. Once they start having their own kids, you could have like 50 grandchildren easily.
That's true. That's true.
At that point, will you even remember all their names?
If they all have
like, will you?
Kids, like, can you recognize one of them? Like,
it's like say you're at a big family reunion or something, and you're like,
"Who are you?
Is that one of my grandkids, or is that someone else?"
And especially when you get older, like it's already hard to
exactly. Like if you're 65 and you have 50 grandchildren, like that.
Like, I don't know where my life will take me, but if God puts me in that situation, like I just know I'm not remembering.
Yeah. At that point, you kind of like, it's like I don't know, that kind of makes it very difficult because like I was gonna say your grandparents are usually, they can be like a special relationship, but also now that I think of it, a lot of people might not even know all their grandparents if they like died when they were really young or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But like I don't know, the way I'm thinking about it is like all of my grandparents are still alive. They're old. They're like all in their 80s.
Oh wow.
But they're all still alive. So I guess it's sort of different.
You know what's wild?
What?
I grew up with So my grandpa died before I was old enough to have conscience.
Right, exactly.
So
And that's the thing that
I grew up with
I
four
don't know.
grandmas and one grandpa because I had two great grandmas growing up.
You had two great
I had
grandmothers
two
growing
great
up.
grand. One of them actually is still alive.
You have a
She's
great
I have
grandmother
a
that's
great
still
grandma
alive.
that's still
That's
alive.
crazy.
Yeah.
How old is she? Like
Oh my
90?
gosh, she's in her 90s, I think.
Dang, yeah.
But
Because I was gonna say,
the last one died in 2023.
okay.
Yeah, and so.
Oh yeah, both of my grandparents are great grandparents as well.
Oh
not,
really?
Not through my family, but through my cousins. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but no, it's crazy because the women in my family are really good with longevity, but not the men. They've all died quite young. So
Wait. So you're saying you had 3 out of 4 of your grandparents were alive when you remember 3 out of 4, except one of your grandfathers wasn't alive when you were
yeah, so like
conscious.
I remember my grandma's mom, my grandpa who passed away, and his mom who's still alive. She outlived him.
Okay, so 2 great grandmothers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's pretty wild. Yeah.
That is wild.
And then
they were also like conscious, like they weren't like. You remember talking to them and stuff?
Like, the most recent I would have talked to them when I probably would have been an adult. They would have been 18.
That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy. It's a wild.
That is insane.
I know. I hope it speaks to my family's longevity. We'll see.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That won't happen. Probably won't happen for my kids. Whenever I have kids, because I was my parents were like 40 when they had me, and I was their 5th kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They had.
They were 43.
Oh wow, they had kids later in life.
Oh, sorry, wait, no. They were 43 when they had the youngest. When my youngest sibling. No, they were 40 when they had me.
Well, you know, maybe 40 years. You never know what could happen.
Maybe, but
actually, wait, no.
But like my grandparents are all 80 now.
Yeah. Well, my grandma married my grandpa when she was 19. He was 23. So. Yeah, life was crazy back then. They both worked at Dairy Queen. They could afford a house.
That's crazy. Oh, that was another thing about finances. I was saying like, I was thinking like, we're in a pretty decent just like situation, just like life wise.
Yeah.
With regard to like historically and geographically right now, right here.
Sitting in a park with a
university. But also like, will we be able to buy a house? Because I was hearing about. I don't know where I was hearing this. Actually, I think it might have been on Jordan Peterson was interviewing Pierre Poilievre or something, and he was talking about how like in the 80s or something. I don't know if he was talking about his parents or someone, but he was talking about how they were working like regular jobs. Like they weren't working at like lawyer level jobs, but like they paid off a house in 7 years.
I know, it's because like,
and that's like paying off a house in 7 years.
I know.
Not even. Like I feel like even if I was, unless I was working as like getting like $200,000 or $300,000 as a lawyer or a doctor, I feel like it would take 7 years to like
save up for the down.
Save up for the down payment.
Like exactly. I had a friend, and his grandpa was an Italian who didn't speak any English. He moved to Canada, got a job at a bakery. He didn't own the bakery, he just got a job.
Yeah, exactly.
As a baker, and his wife stayed at home, and they had a 2-story house and a car.
Yeah,
that's just crazy. Like, I don't know. I want to be honest. Like when they say like the Zoomer work ethic, maybe that's true.
What's the Zoomer work ethic?
Like that, like our generation's work ethic isn't as hard as theirs was.
I feel like
but also. I think that their situation economically was just objectively better.
Yeah, I think is the Zoomer work ethic like boomers will be like, you darn Zoomers just need to work harder type thing. I think for a percentage of people that might be the case, but I think also not that I've like looked at statistics about this, but I feel like a lot of people work like really, really hard.
Yeah, for not
and
a whole lot.
They're not keeping up. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's wild. So vote. It's election day. Yeah,
this will be out before the election is over, guys. Definitely
do that. Anyway, it's been an hour. Should we?
It has been an hour. All right. Well, Tom.
Well, this has been great.
This has been good.
We got to talk about a
finally did the podcast
that
I've been planning for so long.
Absolutely.
Oh, parting words. Do you have any words to your future self? Actually, wait. No, never mind. Sorry, wait. Yeah. Any words to the people for the future or your future self or whatever?
Oh, well, we can do both.
Sure, do both. For
it-
the public as well, because it's like this. If this goes online,
Of course, I'm very optimistic about life. And we'll see where I end up. I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years. Maybe in Ottawa, maybe in Alabama or something.
Yeah,
But there's always buy a farm somewhere.
that's true.
These aren't good parting words. I don't like these.
Okay, redo parting words.
Starting now.
Parting words, Tom.
Of course, I'm excited to see where I go. I'm excited to see where you go. It's going to be really interesting.
Yes, it will. It will be.
I'm excited to see there are a lot of things right now that I'm very certain of.
Yeah.
Like how my life will progress.
Yeah.
And I'm still very certain, and I'm not even gonna preface that because I just think that's how it's gonna go. So I'm curious to see how well they're going because they're gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Right.
where I end up, that one I'm really interested in. I'm really,
physically, geographically.
geographically, because I'm a
Yeah,
big.
I am as well.
Yeah.
Curious about that.
We shall see.
We shall.
All right. Well, this has been great.
Nice. That's sick.